Good morning, how you guys doing? Or afternoon, evening, depending on where you are and what time it is. Merry Christmas! Today is December 29th, so Christmas has gone. Now we're on the other side of it, 2009, heading towards 2010. Very exciting. Just want to say a quick hello. We got new Mario for the Wii for Christmas, and I've been playing that multiplayer, and it's a lot of fun. It's cool. It is really fun, but I do find so there's a couple of things I find really odd decision choices personally on that game. Number one, that you can bump into each other, that you actually collide. It's a really interesting choice. I can see contextually, why that makes sense. You wouldn't want to go through each other because that's weird and it's not realistic. But since when did that stop them from doing anything in Mario? So I don't think realism would be a reason that they would choose that. So it must be from a gameplay perspective, or maybe to help players feel like they're interacting with each other in the game, perhaps. But to be honest, I could do without that. I could really do without that, because I could be standing on the edge, especially in the ice world. Whoo! You really get to really appreciate that kind of action on the ice world. Standing on the edge of a platform, icy platform, slidey platform, waiting to get somewhere, waiting for a platform to come closer or whatever, waiting for your players you're playing with to catch up or whatever. So you're hanging out, and someone could run up behind you and bump you, and you get slid off the platform. Which, that's never been a case in any 2D Mario game. You've never had to worry about that. And, I don't know, I just don't like it, to be honest. So that's number one, I don't like that. And number two, jumping on top of people's heads. Oh, gosh, that's frustrating. I haven't found anywhere in the game yet, and I'm about to be in the fifth world. So that would suggest that there probably isn't anywhere in the game that actually requires it to enjoy and complete the game. Any reason to jump on someone's head to get a high jump? I mean, there's so many other ways of getting a high, whether it be a helicopter hat or, or whatever, just getting the different suits. I guess that's the main one that makes you go high, right? Yeah, I think so. And then you have your own kind of jump and spin anyway when you don't have a suit. But, yeah, God, because you could be running along and someone can jump, and they're not even. I mean, the thing that's really frustrating about it, it's not like the other person is even trying to jump on your head. They just do, because you guys are so close to each other, and you run the same speed, and you jump the same amount, and all that kind of business. You're trying to get to the same place, and the scrolling is, you're both controlling the scrolling, so you're so connected with each other as far as your movement and speed and momentum and so on. You find yourself jumping on each other's heads all of the time, because it's basically a single-player game design with multiple people in there. So it's not like it's really designed for multiple players. I mean, I know they've obviously tried to make it work for multiple players, of course, and they've done a very good job considering how challenging that is. But still, some of the levels definitely feel like, oh, okay, this is a single-player level with 4 people playing it. And it's very frustrating. I mean, you feel like, I really hope these people die in the game, not in real life. So I can just play the level single player and get to the end, because God, it's so frustrating. Because you'll be running along. I don't wish people to die, by the way, just to clarify that for the record. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So anyway, you run along, and whatever, you get into the edge of the platform and you're trying to get up here or whatever. So you run along and you jump, and someone else is behind you, maybe they're running and you weren't, or whatever, and they jump first, and you jump, and they hit your head and they push you down and you die. This happened a lot of times, and wow, it really makes it fun when that happens. It really does. So anyway, so that's my two major complaints: is bumping into each other. No, I don't even talk. Bumping into each other, and just people jump on your head. It's just like, oh, because you can't jump. If you're standing there and someone jumps on your head and you try and jump, you can't, because they're pushing you down. Oh my gosh, wow. Anyway, but okay, so people, I guess I shouldn't harp on the negatives so quickly and so hastily, but they're the two things I really don't like about the game, which is, they're pretty big major things, to be honest, but the game is cool. I mean, it is a lot of fun, man. The creativity in that game and the production value, and it's just fun, it's just a fun game. Tremendous amount of work that's gone into it. It really is a joy to play. I mean, I think it would be a lot more joy to play as a single player experience, I believe. Ironically, and it's being billed as a multiplayer game. And Nintendo never offers the player options. You know, most games that aren't from Nintendo I think would allow those kind of choices to be options. You know, you go to the options and turn player collision off, or maybe even turn collision off as one option, and even jumping on heads as a separate option. Perhaps there's two different options you can turn on and off. And Nintendo never does that. They never allow you to modify the game. You know, and I can respect that. I can respect that perspective of theirs to be like, well, we've designed the game to work this way. This is what we're selling, and we're testing it and making sure it works well as designed. Play it that way, and there you go. And I can respect that. But people are individuals, and they have different choices, and they have different play styles, and they have different needs and desires and tastes and all the rest of it. So, you know, I mean, with our games, with Dementium and Moon and Dementium 2, you know, we offer options in there for the player to customize only a small handful of things. You know, you can't customize everything, but you know, some things that are vital. One of the big options with the Dementium 2, because we have jump in there. You know, Metroid on the DS, you know, you can double tap the screen with your stylus and it'll make you jump. And I personally never enjoyed that way of jumping. I found it really, it wasn't responsive. It didn't make me jump when I wanted to. It just didn't work. It wasn't as effective as just pressing a button. Now I jump, thank you. It just didn't work. Sometimes you maybe get the double tap timing wrong, or you know, the thing is, you're tapping once, and it's on the second tap that you jump. So you kind of have to think a little bit ahead of when you want to jump, rather than I need to jump. You need I need to jump, and I didn't get it in and shoot. And it just doesn't work. So anyway, but we have provided that option in the game because some people like that and they're used to that, and that's great. And then also we have a little icon on the touchscreen, which is an arrow pointing up, and you touch that and it makes you jump. Anyway, I've rambled on far too much about that, but my point is, I think I would have personally enjoyed New Mario Wii more if I could just turn that collision off and turn the jumping on the heads off, because I have absolutely no need for it. It does nothing for me in a positive way. It only does negative things, to be honest. I've never needed it or used it for gameplay reasons, and it's just frustrating, you know. It really is. It's like something I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's the way I view it is the player has their abilities, and then it's the enemy and the environment that then challenge those abilities. The players are working as a team to get to the end goal, right? So the fact that me bumping into someone or someone jumping on my head can inadvertently add an extra challenge to the game and actually kill me, I don't think that's right. I don't think the game's designed to do that. I don't think it's something that makes any sense, because the other player shouldn't be my enemy. Sure, we should work together, it's teamwork, rah rah rah, all that kind of business, and you do that in many other ways, as far as waiting for them to get over here and and doing catch up, and there's lots of ways in New Mario, and if you've played the game, you'll understand. You already know there's many ways you work together beyond avoiding bumping into each other and jumping on each other's heads. And then related to that, oh my gosh, so when if the other player or any of the other players do die, the game kind of pauses for that split second and then it continues again. God, that throws me off every time. That is so frustrating. Because you'll be like running along, just about to jump, and the game pauses, and you're like, I had my rhythm, but now I'm like, and it comes back, and you're like, and you try and anticipate when the game's going to come back, so you can press the button, but you may press it a little bit too soon, a little bit too late, and you may die, basically. Anyway, I have harped on way too much about the negatives of the game. I do enjoy it a lot. It is a lot of fun, but I just wish those things were addressed. I think I'm just shocked, and maybe I'm just too picky. I don't know, whatever. I play games to have fun. I don't play games to be frustrated. Mario can be frustrating anyway because it's so challenging. The levels are designed very well, and some of them are very challenging. God, especially the ice world. Woo! Glad that one's behind my back. But it's challenging in a good way. It's your fault that you're not getting through the level. The level's there. It's challenging. Figure it out. Get to the end. And it's because of your haste, because of you're not being careful or observant. It's the reasons that are really your own fault that you can fail at those levels, especially the ice levels. Oh my gosh. it's not the game's fault necessarily. But things like the things I just mentioned about the bumping and the jumping and the blocking and the, oh gosh, that is the game's fault, I think. You know, it's asking too much of the players to be aware and avoid and work around those things that can inadvertently kill your partners. So anyway, so I wasn't actually meaning to come on here and rant about Mario Wii, but I did, didn't I? Oh well. So anyway, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good one. And if you had Mario Wii, I'm sure you're enjoying it anyway as well. And maybe you have similar gripes to me. Maybe you don't.Maybe I'm just crazy. And that's probably true, but that's a separate issue. Alright. Cool. Well, you guys have a good one. And Happy New Year. That's coming up, obviously, in a couple of days. And yeah, alright, speak to you later. Bye.